Hello everyone, myself Dr. Harshini, Associate Professor, MB Department, SJBIT. Video 3 on B2B Marketing Management. This includes some contents of Module 2, Purchasing Behavior. So this is the content: factors affecting purchasing decision, purchasing orientation, segmentation, purchase categories, purchase process variations, buying situations and market actions, online buying, traditional marketing approach, uncertainties of buyer and supplier marketer, supplier uncertainties, relationship variables, impact of IT, interfirm relations and networks, and we shall see if we can discuss case study here. So in this video I'll be covering a few concepts under this module. Now coming to introduction regarding consumer behavior. Well, consumer behavior refers to actions taken both online and offline by consumers before buying product or services. Buyer behavior is a driving force behind any marketing process. Buyer behavior refers to the decision and acts people undertake to buy products or services for individual or group use. It is synonymous with the term consumer buying behavior, which often applies to individual customer in contrast to business. Consumer buying behavior refers to actions taken both online and offline by consumer before buying a product or service, as I already told you. A consumer behavior analysis should reveal what consumers think and how they feel about various alternatives, that is regarding brands, products, etc. What influences consumers to choose between various options, consumers' behavior while researching and shopping, and how consumers' environment influences their behavior, like friends, family, media, etc. Now, major factors that influence consumer buying behavior. Well, cultural factors, social factors, personal factors, psychological factors or do influence consumer buying behavior. Cultural factors: culture is not always defined by a person's nationality. It can also be defined by their associations, their religious beliefs, or even their location. Social factors: elements in person's environment that impact the way they see products. Personal factors: these may include someone's age, marital status, budget, personal beliefs, values, and morals. Psychological factor: a person's state of mind when they are approached with a product, while will often determine how they feel not only about the item itself but the brands as whole. To continue with this, or to include some more concepts on this, some more points on this, consumer behavior is influenced by many factors, as I already discussed. Understanding consumer is an important factor in go-to-market success. So it's important to realize that consumer expectation constantly change due to outside factors, and brands need to be agile and accept change to satisfy customer needs. So along with cultural, personal, social, and psychological, we can even discuss the economic factor. Let me repeat on psychological factors. Well, human psychology is a major determinant of consumer behavior. These factors are difficult to measure but are powerful enough to influence a buying decision. Some of the important psychological factors are motivation, perception, learning, attitude, and beliefs. Motivation means when a person is motivated enough, it influences buying behavior of person has many needs, such as social needs, basic needs, security needs, esteem need, self-actualization need. Out of all these needs, the basic needs and security needs take a position above all other needs. Hence, basic needs and security needs have the power to motivate consumer to buy products and service. Perception: consumer perception is a major factor that influences consumer behavior. Customer perception is a process where a customer collects information about a product and interprets the information to make a meaningful image of a particular product. Regarding learning: when a person buys a product, he or she gets to learn something about the product. Learning comes over a period of time through experience. Consumers' learning depends on skills and knowledge. Coming to attitude and beliefs, consumer have certain attitudes and beliefs which influence the buying decisions of a consumer. Based on this attitude, the customer behaves in a particular way towards a product. Now coming to social factor, humans are social beings and they live around many people who influence their buying behavior. Humans try to imitate other humans and also wish to be socially accepted in the society. Hence, their buying behavior is influenced by other people around them. These factors are considered as social factors like family, reference group, roles and status, roles and status. Like, what do you mean by family? Then family plays a significant role in shaping buying behavior of person. Person develops preferences from his childhood by watching family buy products and continue to buy the same product even when they grow up. Reference group. A reference group is a group of people with whom a person associates himself. Generally, all the people in the reference group have common buying behavior and influence each other. Roles and status. A person is influenced by role that he holds in a society. If a person is in a high position, his buying behavior will be influenced largely by his status. Person who is a chief executive officer in a company will buy according to his status, while a staff or an employee of same company will have different buying patterns. Now talking about cultural factors, group of people is associated with a set of values and ideologies that belong to particular community. When a person comes from particular community, his behavior is highly influenced by cultural relating to that particular community. Right? Like we have culture, subculture and social class. Now talking about personal factors, factors that are personal to the consumers influence their buying behavior. These personal factors differ from person to person, thereby producing different perceptions and consumer behavior. Like age, income, occupation, lifestyle. Now age is major factor that influence buying behavior. Buying choice of youth differ from that of middle-aged people. Elderly people have a totally different buying behavior. Teenagers will be more interested in buying colorful clothes and beautiful products. Middle-aged are focused on mainly on house, property and vehicle for the family. Talking about income, income has the ability to influence buying behavior of a person. Higher income gives higher purchasing power to consumers. When a consumer has higher disposable income, it gives more opportunity for the consumer to spend on luxurious products. Whereas low income or middle income group consumers spend most of their income on basic needs such as groceries and clothes. Occupation. Well, occupation of consumer influence the buying behavior. A person tends to buy things that are appropriate to his or her profession. For example, a doctor would buy clothes according to his profession, while a professor will be will have a different buying pattern. Lifestyle. Lifestyle is an attitude and a way in which an individual stay in the society. The buying behavior is highly influenced by the lifestyle of a consumer. For example, when a consumer leads a healthy lifestyle, then products he buys will relate to healthy alternatives to junk food. And economic factors, well, that is missing in the slide, but let me explain you the economic factor. The consumer buying habits and decision greatly depend on the economic situation of the country or the market. When the nation is prosperous, the economy is strong, which leads to the greater money supply in the market and higher purchasing power to consumers. When consumers experience a positive economic purchasing power for consumers, when the consumer experience positive economic environment, then they are more confident to spend on buying products. Whereas a weak economy reflects a struggling market that is impacted by unemployment and lower purchasing power. Economic factors bear a significant influence on buying decision of consumer. Some of the economic factors are personal income, family income, consumer credit, liquid assets, savings. Okay, so then I think that is enough to know about the factors that influence consumer buying behavior. Next one, types of buyers. Well, um, you can see on the slide the types of buyers, which includes analytical buyer, amiable buyer, driver buyer, and expressive buyer. An analytical buyer is motivated by logic and information. This buyer will look at all the data on competing brands and products before making an informed decision. Amiable buyer, warm and friendly. This buyer just wants everyone to be happy. That is why they are more paralyzed, by big decisions when there is a perception of win or lose outcome. The driver buyer, drivers are most concerned with how others view them and whether they follow. The trendsetters, drivers are most concerned with their appearances rather than relationship that are formed during the transaction. The expressive buyer, well, relationships are key to the expressive buyer. They cannot stand feeling isolated or ignored during a transaction. Instead, they want to feel like the most important asset. These are the types of buyers. Okay. Then coming to, well, let me just, okay. Kinds of buyers: individual buyer, strategic buyer, synergetic buyer, industry buyer, financial buyer. Again, it can be differentiated under such categories also. The individual buyer means this is typically an individual with substantial financial resource and with a type of background or experience necessary for leading a particular operation. The individual buyer usually seeks a business that is financially healthy, indicating a sound return on the investment of both money and time. The strategic buyer is almost always a company with a specific goal in mind: entry into new markets, increasing market share, gaining new technology, or eliminating some element of competition. Synergetic buyer, well, the synergetic category of buyer, like the strategic type, is usually a company. Synergy means that the joining of two companies will produce more or be worth more than just the sum of their parts. The industry buyer, sometimes known as buyer of last resort, this type is often a competitor or a highly similar operation. This buyer already knows the industry well and therefore does not want to pay for the expertise and knowledge of the seller. The financial buyer, most in evidence of all the buyer types, financial buyers are influenced by a demonstrated return on investment coupled with their ability to get financing on as large as portion of the purchase price as possible. Almost all the purchasers of the smaller business fall into individual buyer category, but most buyers, as mentioned above, actually fit into more than just one category. Okay, so then types of different types of buyers, as already discussed. Most important part of selling is known who your buyer is. Of course, each buyer is unique. There are 4 basic personality types into which they can be grouped. By identifying a buyer's personality type and what motivates him, one can tailor the sales presentation to meet his needs. Analytical buyer, let me repeat. These buyers are motivated by logic and information, best identified by their tendencies towards perfectionism and attention to detail. They can seem indecisive, introspective, or even withdrawn, but this should not actually fool the marketing people. How to sell to analytical buyers then? These people are interested in logic and accuracy. Give them as much information as possible. Also give them enough time to really consider all the facts without feeling pressurized to rush into decisions. And then amiable buyers, well, this group of buyers is motivated by stability and cooperation. Their aim is to make everyone else happy. They are constantly worried about how their choices will affect people around them. For this reason, it's often difficult for them to make big decisions. So how to sell to amiable buyers? Well, since their decision making process is very slow, try to keep into social aspects that will make them feel more comfortable. These people hate change and chaos, and it's important to highlight the ease of transition the services will provide. So should be friendly and build a rapport with them. And you need to explain why a service is maintain the status quo. Coming to driver buyer, these people are motivated by power and respect. They're most concerned with how others follow and view their directions. You need to recognize them and make them feel empowered in all the interactions. So the greater fear of this group of people is to take advantage of or to be disrespected. So how to sell to driver buyer? Well, show them proof of your service. Also show some respect for their position without allowing yourself to be knocked over. These people have no respect for weak characters, but if you trust, then they can make instant decisions. Then comes expressive buyers. Well, expressive buyers are motivated by recognition and approval. They're incredible at customer relationship management, meaning you need to be credible as well. So this type of buyer, people are most important commodity. They just want to be needed, so you need to highlight their personal value to them. And how to sell to expressive buyer? Need to try to sell them that your product or service will evaluate their image and relations. Spend time developing personal relationship with them and use personal information, testimonials and anecdotes to explain your products. So with this, I hope you understood the types of buyers. Then coming to types of buyer behavior: complex buyer behavior, dissonance reducing buyer behavior, habitual buyer behavior, and variety seeking behavior. I think that part will be covered in the next video. But here, like participants in B2B purchase process, the decision making unit of a buyer organization is referred to as buying center, sometimes called the decision making unit. Buying centers are comprised of all the different people in the organization who have a stake in B2B buying decision and have some degree of influence in purchase decision. The buying center can have one or more of the following roles, like initiator, influencer, gatekeepers, buyers, deciders, users, and so on. So what is initiator? Is typically the individual who first identifies a purchasing need within the organization. Initiators are the people within the buying center who start the buying process. For example, machine operator might initiate request for a particular tool or piece of equipment. At other times, the need may be identified by senior management of the engineering department. Then coming to influencer, are those within the organization who help define specifications and provide information to be used in the evaluation process. And then after influencer, we have gatekeepers. Well, they filter information. They are the person the marketer has to negotiate their way through in order to reach the decision makers. They play a strategic role in the buying process because they have the ability to allow only that information favorable to their opinion to flow to the decision makers. Then comes the buyers. Buyers are those who have authority within the organization to select suppliers and negotiate and arrange the purchase terms. Buyers may also assist others within the organization to help shape contract. Then deciders. Deciders are the critical link for a marketer in getting the order, particularly in major purchases. These users may or may not be the initiator of the purchase proposal. However, depending on how complex purchase is, they may help define product specifications. It's important to note that all of these parties may be involved in every buying decision depending on the nature of purchase, and sometimes people in the buying center play more than one role. For example, consider a medium-sized law firm that needs a new copier. The initiator may be an administrative assistant who complains to their boss, the managing partner, that the copier is too slow and lacks features like auto duplexing and capacity to enlarge and reduce size of documents. So as such, the administrative assistant is also acting as a technical influencer, since they have first-hand knowledge on how a new copier with improved features would impact business process. Well, this is regarding the type of buyers. I hope you understood the meaning of the consumer behavior, factors that influence consumer buying behavior. and I hope you got to know the basic concept of consumer behavior. So in next video I'll be covering some more aspects on buying behavior. Till then, take care.